Hey my loves, it's me Oracle Bridget, Love Steady Life, and I want to come on here on the live and give some quick light codes, some light codes I've been meaning to get out, and I have a moment where I have a little bit of energy. I've got my coffee, so I'm going to take the time to do that. So what I want to talk to you very quickly about today, these light codes that I'd like to share, are about what happens when you're put in a vulnerable state. What happens when you're put in a vulnerable state? And sometimes in life, we are put in a vulnerable state so that we can be programmed and brainwashed. So I definitely recommend that you Google alpha, theta, and beta brainwave frequencies. And I recommend that you do your own research to see what exactly those 3 different brainwave frequencies are and when they're activated. And then I want you to do that research and look to see what brainwave state are you in when you watch TV. And when you do that research, what it will confirm for you is that when you watch television, your brain goes into the mode of being programmed. When you watch television, your brain goes into the frequency of being programmed. When you watch television, you're putting your brain in a vulnerable state, a state that is malleable, that can be molded and rewired. So I want you to keep that in mind. The state that your brain takes when you are being absorbent and receiving, that's the vibration it inhabits when you watch television. So that's the first thing I want to tell you. So that particular brainwave that I'm wanting you to Google, that activates a sense of vulnerability in the mind. There are other ways that we can activate vulnerability in the mind, and external dark forces will activate vulnerability in your mind, in your life, at different key points in our lives to lower vibrations. And to program us, really, to program us. Let me say it one more time. To program us. For example, something traumatic happens that's scary to watch for a child, and they feel vulnerable and they feel scared. And on a spiritual level, if they don't find safety, the soul exits the body and disassociates and disconnects and overlights the human. And the soul overlights the human, hoping, waiting for an opportunity for the human to come back into alignment with safety and self so that the soul can come back in. However, if someone's life is being constantly inundated by things that make them feel unsafe and vulnerable over and over and over again, it never provides an opportunity for that soul to ever come back into the body. Yes, your vehicle is very loud. Thank you so much. Yes, drive that thing. Go get out of here. I'm making a video. Thank you. Your dog is cute. Goodbye. Okay. So another thing that will happen are forcing kids to watch traumatic things. It's the same for adults, but for kids it's much stronger, and the programming takes a much stronger hold while their brains are still malleable and they're growing. So when I was in 7th grade, my science teacher in 7th grade, when I was 13 years old, choosing to read an email and turn on the television so that I could watch the Twin Towers get hit by a plane, so I could watch that whole thing go down on the TV live as a 13-year-old. Well, that was a great spell of the dark to traumatize a whole generation of young people. That was a great programming of the dark to traumatize a whole generation of young people. And before that, we were already traumatized. And the goal has constantly been, the goal of the dark, the goal of the low vibrational plane, has been to do as much as they can to keep us dissociated, as much as they can to keep us out of body, to have our body not feel safe so the soul never comes back. Because like I always say, if you're not inhabiting your body, if you're not controlling your thoughts and your mind and your emotions, then who is? Because someone is. So if you're not moving yourself, know that the programming is moving you and some other energy is moving you. So take a deep breath. Traumatic things that happen to us, whether they're on a personal level or a collective level, They will cause that moment where the soul potentially dissociates out of body, right? It causes that moment for the brain to feel unsafe, for the brain to get malleable. An emotional trauma, something that causes like a massive cognitive dissonance or some kind of like little mental rift, is a perfect moment for the dark to imbue you with programming to convince you that that's the way to be, and that the way you were prior to the traumatic thing happening was never really real. Take your deep breath again. It is your birthright to be fully soul inhabited in your body. It is your birthright to be safe in your body. It is your birthright to have a safe environment. It is your birthright to be a respected soul. A lot of us were programmed in childhood through cartoons. Kids' cartoons in childhood had a lot of random traumatic scenes in the episodes done strategically in a way to traumatize children small scale, to cause small traumatic breaks in their mind by embedding small bits of darkness and programming in the cartoons and television that the kids were watching. I can definitely speak for this from my own television programming. I guarantee you it's still like that today in cartoons and on YouTube. You have to be vigilant if you are someone who has a child. You have to be vigilant with the information they're taking in, and I highly recommend that you observe the entire episode first before your kid watches it. Because it just takes one 30-second, 8-second flash on the screen to cause that cognitive shift in the mind, to cause the child to not feel safe, and to cause the soul to go out of body. And now your child's disassociated, just like you were when you saw that whatever traumatic thing happened to you. And so it's in our cycle, and as you guys know, I'm in the United States, so it's in our cycle of our culture. Our culture is a cycle of darkness, of constant oppression and abuse and taking power over people. It's a cycle of darkness. As the cycle of death and rebirth is something we are familiar with, the cycle of the perpetuation of darkness and programming society through traumatizing children has been a thing since forever. During World War, what was it, 1 and 2? There was the cartoon, Just Duck and Cover, Duck and Cover. We know what we all must learn to do. You and you and you and you, so duck and cover. It was a cartoon of a turtle in an army hat teaching kids to duck and cover under their desks in case an atomic bomb hit. I wonder if they had the same kind of cartoons for kids in today's world when they're preparing for their mass school shootings. How did they teach the kids? I don't have kids. I teach in elementary schools, but I don't have kids, so I don't. And I only teach at the arts in the after-school program, so I don't really know what that was like for them. But I bet you they had some cute illustrations and songs to teach the kids to block your door and hide from the guns in your closet. You'll have fun, or whatever the fuck. It's programming. It's inundating innocent minds with fear so they can dissociate as soon as possible, so that they can become a pawn for the dark at a young age. It's much easier to get people to do your dirty work when they are unaware that that's what you're programming them to do. Take a deep breath. And so it could be something like seeing something traumatic as a child or a young person at any age. But again, before you're 24, your frontal lobe is not fully developed. So that's when you are that's when it's highly impactful, these kind of cognitive traumas. So either you literally witness something traumatic, or you get fucked by one of these cartoons or shows you were watching as a kid, where even just, honestly, I'm going to keep going about it deeper into this message, because you can get traumatized by just a quick 8 seconds in a show, right? That scene where Donald Duck got raped by the rooster traumatized me for fucking ever. I didn't even remember about that rape scene on that cartoon in Looney Tunes. I didn't even remember that until I saw the picture pop up. And I was like, oh my God, I remember that scene. I saw the picture pop up on my feed. I remember that scene, and I immediately remembered the feeling of fear and confusion and not safe that I felt within me. And I remembered the feeling of the programming setting in and telling me that I wasn't safe. When I was in elementary school, 9, 10 years old, and I found out about rkelly peeing on girls who were my age, when I found out about rkelly peeing on girls who were a year or two older than me, then I was 9, 10 years old, 11 years old. So when I find out about that, and I'm trying to talk to adults about it, to say, this is wrong. This can't be, why aren't there riots in the street? Why isn't he in jail? Why is he still making music? I was a child saying that. And you know what society and my parents and the world all said back to me? Nah, these things happen in life. How safe do you think that made my child self feel? I learned at a young age that this is how much society values me as a young girl, and how much society will protect me as a young girl. Just through that little thing. Oh, you're gonna sweep that under the rug? I learned that at a young age, and I lost all my faith in society and its ability to protect me and my innocence as a child. And I learned at that young age that I was on my fucking own. But at the same time, we can acknowledge that in just, again, that little moment of my childhood life, you can see how I lost some of my innocence. You can see how the darkness won in that way. It got me losing my faith. And it got me in not feeling safe in my body and in society. Again, there's the theme, there's the pattern. Something that got me to dissociate, to get my soul out of my body. So then I could potentially be more easier programmed to be a pawn for the dark. Because when you're inundated with fear, you don't trust yourself because you don't feel safe, and you'll let anyone tell you what to do. You'll take any higher power, anything that'll tell you what to do so you don't have to figure out what to do because you don't feel safe. Take a deep breath. So as you can see, I've brought up a couple different energies and light codes and things that could potentially traumatize us. And these are things in the past. We know that there are a bajillion things we could bring up in the present day that are much more clearly affecting us, but obviously I'm not touching on that. I want to talk about what's already happened and how we're already affected, so then we can take those light codes and that information and apply it to us present day. Because when a traumatic things happen, when you observe it, when you see something that just can't be right, but somehow everyone lets it be and everyone says it's okay, yeah, that's your moment where the dark is like, okay, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna accept it? Are you gonna accept it? Oh, the dark's like, I hope you accept it, because then you'll be my pawn. So now that you're here, and you're a grown-up, and you're becoming spiritually aware, and you've found yourself on my page, let's take a second and reclaim our sovereignty. Take a deep breath. I want to remind you that your soul has the ability to rewrite all mental programmings. And if you are willing to remember and recollect your soul into your body, you will be able to have the conversations with your soul to tell your soul, and I know this is going to sound tough, you have to give tough love to your soul and to your body and say, I don't fucking care that you don't feel safe. It is safe here. I'm here now. It's safe. Higher self is here. My adult self is here. You're not a child anymore. You've got your back. And we don't feel safe like we've got our own back when we're not making choices that work in our favor or that feel good. So we don't trust ourselves. And so the soul's like, last time I came into body, it was bullshit. So it does require a lot of accountability on your part. As you observe media, as you observe things on television and on news feeds, notice the impact it has on your soul and your heart, feeling the energy you feel in here, the energy you feel coming up through your solar plexus. Notice it. Notice if you're losing faith in humanity. Because if you are, then the dark is winning and you are a pawn for the dark. If you think that's just how it is and life sucks, then you're a pawn for the dark. Everyone is being challenged by the energies. And guess what? Not me. No one's asking you to turn all this energy into light. No, baby. Just neutralize it. That's your job. Awareness will come to you. And hey, maybe awareness has come to you through this video. But know that our emotions and our emotional body is a key tool used by the external forces of darkness to manipulate us and trick us into creating a malleable mind so that we can be programmed and taken advantage of and turned into a pawn for the dark. So notice when something on the outside triggers an emotion on the inside. Was that its purpose? Did you just observe something that was literally created to cause an emotional trigger in you? You've got to acknowledge that, because that's manipulation. Information can be shared like data without someone trying to project to force you to feel any type of way. When you acknowledge things that are wrong, no longer accept that this is just how it is. You have to rebuke it. We can't always stop things, but in our own personal life, in our own personal sphere, we choose what we believe. I choose what I believe. If I know in my heart that that was fucked up, then it doesn't matter. All of you who think it's okay and normal are fucked up too. I'm actually thinking about like me at 10 years old, 11 years old, the rkelly thing. Literally. I wish as a child I could have said fuck. So when they were like, no, it's just how it is. Oh, it probably didn't happen. Oh, we don't want to believe what she said. I wish as a kid I could have been like, fuck you. You're fucked up. We got to protect the fucking children. I don't give a shit if you think I'm crazy. I'm going to stay in saying that we got, you know what I mean? And it's for all of these causes. The racism's coming to the forefront, as well as all other components of evil and darkness that have been within the soils of the earth and within the bloodlines of human beings and the past lives of human souls. It's all coming to the surface, and everyone is having to face that programming, whether they were programmed by their parents, whether they were programmed by society, their environments, whether they were programmed because they've got bloodlines of being slave masters. Either way, everyone is being given the opportunity to acknowledge their programming right now and to decide if they really believe in what they're standing for. Because if they continue to function as a pawn for the dark, they will be able to, but it will also get extremely uncomfortable. And they will start to notice how people's lives around them are getting better and better, and their lives are getting worse and worse. And there's really no positive outcome from being a pawn for the dark. And then they come back to us and they say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I need to change my ways. I'm becoming aware. These are the people who have been silent, and now all of a sudden they're all like, oh, stand up, don't be racist, don't be racist. No, every day I'm gonna post about don't be racist. Where have you been your entire fucking life? Hey, I'm so glad the program is coming up within you and you're realizing where you've been slacking. I'm so glad. There are a lot worse things going on in the world. No, I can't say a lot worse. That was the worst thing I could have said right now. There are equally as bad things going on in the world too. We still have kids in cages too. So we got to get everyone equal, right? So we got to cleanse the racism. Then we got to cleanse the rapists from the earth, right? Then we got to cleanse the pedophiles from the earth. And then we got to save all the fucking children who are in fucking cages. It's like there's still so much work to do. So my loves, yes, the racism is cleansing out. We got to get rid of the racists. We got to make people aware. And then let's all get together as equal beings. And then let's do the next thing. Let's save the children. We got to get these kids out of their cages. We got to create the safe spaces. We have to reform the field of adoption and the field of foster families and foster homes. And we have to reform that whole society. And we need to start standing up for the children. And we need to start protecting our future by protecting these children who are so very malleable. And these kids have the key codes to the future. And what the darkness wants is to traumatize each and every child so that they can fuck the future. But there's people like me out there who see through it, and I know I'm not the only one. So I hope this message could inspire you today. Know that I love you so much. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm so happy that I could get these light codes out. Our first group meditation is tomorrow. I'm super excited. So I'm leading a guided meditation tomorrow. It's going to be an hour-long block, but it's not going to be an hour meditation. It's going to be about 20, 30 minutes. It's going to start with me just talking to you on the Zoom, preparing your energy, making sure you have everything you need for the meditation. Then we'll do like a 20, 30-minute meditation. And then after that, we're going to do a Q&A. In case some things come up for you in the meditation, I want to be able to talk about it on the spot. So if you want to sign up for tomorrow's live guided meditation, you can click the link in my bio. And at the top of my website, you're going to see in the pink letters where it says to sign up for guided meditation class, click here. I'm super stoked. That is at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, Thursday. And it's happening for the following 3 weeks as well. Another fun thing is next week on Monday, I'm starting Power Up Mondays. It's going to be a 15-minute, super fast guided meditation at 7 a.m. EST. Also, I'm trying that for 4 weeks. You can sign up the same way. And then at the end of the month, I'm starting my awakening school. So I won't talk too much about that yet. But as you can see, I'm still doing the work and spreading the light and trying my best to keep waking people up in the way that feels authentic and in alignment for me. Please continue to hold me accountable. If I use language that makes you feel unsafe, I hope you will send me a DM and let me know. While you know I like to be very authentic and raw, I know that I'm not perfect and I make mistakes sometimes. And I never want to ever have a space where it doesn't feel safe for everyone, although I have to make sure it predominantly feels safe for me first. I'm flexible, and I still want to make sure that I can relate with you guys, and I know I can get a little intense. Just know this is coming from my heart, and I know people do shitty things saying it's coming from the heart, so that's why I need you to hold me accountable. God, I'm so happy to get those light codes out. So if you haven't been to my YouTube or my IGTV, I do have this week's energy update on there. Lots more light codes for us. And that's all I have to say. So have a beautiful day. I'm going to keep this on my page, so it'll be on my IGTV soon. If you want to book a reading with me, you can do that on my website, lovesteadylife.com. If you want to read my articles, if you want to read my book, you can create a membership on my website to read them, or you can purchase the articles one by one on my site. And those are all the things I have to tell you. So I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank you for being here. Just looking at your comments. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I love you. I love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. I love you. Love you. Love you. I love you. Bye, you guys. Talk to you later.